Hello, Philadelphia! I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gargano Show!
Hey, everybody, how you doing? Well, that's good. Welcome to PHLY's Anthony Gargano Show. I am once again Bill Matz, filling in for the one and only Anthony Gargano. Joining me today, it is VG. What's going on, VG?
Yo, what's happening, Bill?
Oh,
Am I?
just there's a little. It's like
I got a little delay, right?
a little bit audio. Like your mouth starts moving, and I'm like, oh no, he's muted, and then
Right.
sound comes out eventually.
Should I come out and hop back in? Try that.
Yeah, why not?
All right, let's do that. Hold on.
All right, let's see how that works. Let's see what sort of background VG has when he comes back as well. Want to get into the Phillies. They get started. Mike Trout back in town. Going to talk a little bit about that. But Friday night, want to lead off with my plans from Friday. I went to see Superman, and gotta be honest, it wasn't bad. I actually pretty thoroughly enjoyed it. I've never. We talked last week. Not the craziest Superman fan, but really enjoyed myself. What's up, VG? How's it? How's the connection feeling?
Hopefully, it's good.
It looks pretty good. I feel like it's
All
all
right.
right. Yeah, it seems fine. All right, so VG,
So,
I went and saw Superman on Friday night. I actually pretty thoroughly enjoyed it. I liked it. It was fun. They gave Superman a personality. He wasn't just like a cardboard cutout doing good. He cracked some jokes. He was pretty interesting. I didn't hate it. And I said like last week, it's never really been my thing, Superman.
Superman. I haven't seen a Superman since Christopher Reeves. Probably. Is he not a funny guy? This character, Superman, is that new for him? The jokes.
I just feel like he's always like very stilted and like, oh, I do the right thing and that's that. Like it's not a human character. And this guy, like, I
All
don't
right.
know, he just seemed to have some depth and I didn't hate it.
Was Lois Lane in it?
Oh yes, of course. Yeah, Lois
Yeah.
Lane. We got
The
a
love interest is there.
we got a D-bag Green Lantern, which was very funny. There was some
Yeah.
there was some good stuff in there, yeah.
What's a D-bag Green Lantern?
Yeah, he was just the Green Lantern's in it. He's just kind of a dick, which
All right.
I
It's
always
a-
want. I always want a superhero who isn't like got a superhero personality. Like just because you can do good doesn't mean you're a good person.
Is it Nathan
right.
Fillion that's the Green Lantern?
It's someone told me his name. You'd recognize him. I can't remember the dude's name. It's like damn it. I got a Green
So are there
Lantern.
any like A-listers in this movie, or is it all like kind of B-listers and they spend the money on the production?
I do feel like it was pretty heavy on the production side. Like, yeah, this is where we're gonna spend our like Superman's an Eagles fan. He's from here, which is pretty cool.
Hmm.
I dig that. But yeah, it feels like they went a step down in terms of the stars, which again I'm for. Like I want the character to be the star of the movie. It doesn't necessarily need like an A-list star when it's freaking Superman. Like you don't.
Okay.
Why do you need more than that? You know.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Hey, I'm so out on the superhero. I gotta get with it and go see a superhero movie. You recommend this one?
I do. It was a lot of fun, and they've never like I've never been crazy about the superhero movies. This was just kind of something to do.
Yeah.
Everyone just my mother-in-law wanted to see it. She likes Superman. We're like, all right, let's go have some dinner, go catch a movie. It was a nice Friday night out.
All right. All right. Is there I don't know is there like a kryptonite scene? Is there actual
There,
kryptonite? Is that still a thing?
yes, there is kryptonite. Of course, there nothing else can hurt Superman other than
All
kryptonite.
right. All
You
right.
got to
All
have
right.
some kryptonite going on. But yeah,
All right.
that was my Friday, and over the weekend, VG, the Phils came back and they delighted us all, dropping two of
Oh yeah. Yeah.
three, dropping 2 of 3 to the Angels in their return to action. as this team continues to frustrate us en route to what will be one of the better seasons in franchise history.
They've only lost 3 straight series. I mean, what's the worry, right?
Yeah, there's absolutely
Jeez.
nothing to worry about here as
Yeah.
the Angels come into town. And I got to tell you, when you get the sort of production you did out of Harper and Schwarber, you really need to win 2 out of 3 at minimum. It's just
Especially against the Angels.
against the Angels. It's great
Yeah.
that the game they win is the game started by Taijuan Walker. That's, of course, what we all saw coming into this one. But this team is just, they are going to just keep frustrating us until the playoffs start, and we'll see how it goes. I really don't see any other path for this team other than just frustrating the hell out of us.
It's got to be another bat. They will get a bat, right? They have to get a bat, and that'll make everything settle down. The Bohm's a little hole now because I love Otto, but he's kind of bushering third base this weekend a little bit. And that's his natural position, which is weird. But, man, the Taylor Ward put on a show. People were like, I was one of them. I don't know if Taylor Ward fits with this lineup because he strikes out too much. But, my God, he's just bashing balls all over the place. Grab him now. They've been linked to him for like the last 3 years, it feels like. What are we waiting for?
Yeah, they really do need to pull the trigger on something. I'm always worried that we're going to follow the path of the last few trade deadlines where they don't want to give up too much of anything in hopes that they can keep this window open for the duration of the Harper and now Trey Turner contract as well. But, like, that's not feasible. Is that really a way you can go about, oh yeah, 6 years from now we're trying to, that's not really the way it works, especially like these guys, you didn't sign young men. These dudes are all in their 30s. Like, you're trying to
Mm-hmm.
keep a window open for players who will be a shell of themselves in a few years.
Sorry, are you referring, I'm assuming, in Middleton's comments where he's like, you can't give away all these prospects and worry about we still need people to have good baseball in 5 or 6 years here in the ballpark. And we've seen it where we went all in before and Hunter Pence was great and we still didn't win. So are those the comments?
Yeah, I find these comments very, like, because it didn't work before, like, so just never go all in? Is that the lesson
Right,
here? Like,
right.
in baseball, do we really take away, oh, well, it didn't work this one time, so it never will again. Like, all right, so you never steal a base, you never try a squeeze, like, anything that
Right.
doesn't work one time. Like, oh yeah, this guy got caught stealing, so never again. I really, this idea is insane to me.
Yeah, this is not the guy who was all braggadocious and bravado back in the day with spend silly money and do this and do that. It didn't seem like the same guy. And like, I get it. They added a bullpen arm. It's going to cost them $12 million. All right. Like, but you could have had Estevez still could be here, which would have cost them $22 million. And there's a reason that didn't happen. I get like, oh, he's taking it on the chin with this tax, but he has set this up. This has been his plan. I mean, these are his people, everything. It's not like he just bought this team and is stuck with this. He's been here. He's signed off on everything they've done. So I don't want to feel bad
And
for him. And yeah,
no,
you
and
got to
that's
go
the
all in.
problem. Like, if you built this team this way, this is the
Mm-hmm.
price. Like, if your farm system had developed one everyday star at
Yeah.
all in the last decade, we wouldn't be here. But, like, this is the situation you're in, where your homegrown talent outside of starting pitching is Bohm. Okay, he's nice. He's a nice
Mm-hmm.
player. He's okay. He's fine. And Stott, who is all right. He's a nice second base glove. Cool. Like, great.
Yep.
When this is all you've produced for a decade, yeah, man, it's going to be an expensive team if you plan on winning. And since you like filling up the ballpark, I think you plan on winning. This is the situation you find yourself in. I'm sorry that, oh, yeah, we spent stupid money and it only got us this far. Yeah. Now you got to spend more if you want to keep going.
100%. And it's like, I don't know how they could get outfield so wrong. It's like second base. All right, you have only 3 second basemen through 3 different tiers of baseball, but you have 3 chances at every A, triple A, double A, minus A, grapefruit league. You have like 15 legitimate outfielders every year in your minor system. They can't get one. They can't get
Not
one
one.
right. I mean, I
Not
know
Peyton.
Crawford's raking right now, but he's like, at this point, you just got to bring him up, I think, because it's pathetic what's going on in left field at this point.
That's if he's hitting and they don't have the confidence now to bring him up while hot, like, then what's the point? What is it we are
Yeah,
trying to accomplish here? Like, oh, well, we got to make sure he's ready for when? For when Harper's 37 years old? Like, what is the
yeah.
point of that?
Like once Bohm is out of the lineup and you got to move Kemp to third base, you either have to trade for someone immediately or bring Crawford up. I mean, the outfield of Weston, Wilson, and Kepler is just not going to do it.
That's the like you take the chance on Kepler, and listen, sometimes these things work, sometimes they don't. Okay, but now it's one of those we have to recognize and rectify the situation because the guy's no good. Like
No
he's just
good.
like he's not gonna hit. I thought maybe he could come around in the second half. Maybe he could be just a steady enough presence, but I you have to augment this thing and do it quickly because you can't throw away yet another year of this team's prime and of this pitching staff's prime. You're not going to have as good of a pitching staff. Like these guys won't be as good for this long. Something has to be done to try to give this team a chance in the postseason.
Yeah, they need a jolt of something. And Kepler complaining, he has been in 87 games so far. So it's not like when he made the comments or he can't get in rhythm, he's not a full-time player. I mean, he's as close as you can get. He's definitely not a part-time player appearing in 87 games with 321 plate appearances. So he is what he is. We've been through this before with Whit Merrifield, which I like that signing too. I mean, I had way more optimism for Whit Merrifield than I did for Max Kepler, but yeah, we've seen it 2 years in a row now. We don't want to see it anymore. I don't know why he's still here.
Yeah, it's just lack of options. That's really what it comes down
Right.
to. Like, do you want to put Kyle Schwarber in left field? Because I don't. Like that's like
No.
what are the actual options?
Well, I mean,
You're running out of
If
them.
you had Brent Rooker at DH, sure, maybe I'll throw Schwarber out in left field. But I mean, who will we put in the DH spot if he's in left field? I mean, Weston
Exactly.
Wilson,
It's okay. So we're gonna put like yeah, you just kind of rearranging things, and it doesn't actually solve any of the situation. You're just kind of moving pieces around. They have to add something. Yeah, maybe if it's a Brent Rooker, absolutely, that sounds great. I'm just I'm skeptical they can add anything good enough that seriously fixes this problem. We're going to talk about this with Tyler Zulli in about 15 minutes when he
nice.
joins us. But how great of an addition can they make that actually improves this lineup?
Well, I mean, the one that's out there, you're going to have to give up some major assets for my man Eugenio Suarez, who was fine 3 weeks ago. He's super expensive now because he's been on a heater for 2 weeks, just bashing home runs every other game. It feels like now. He's got like 32 home runs from the right side playing third base. They don't miss. It's like Bohm who? You kidding me with him at third base? But that's going to be the
It's like
Yankees are supposed
boom.
to be all. Yankees are all over him, so it's going to cost you, I don't know, probably a Miller and a Crawford. I don't know. I have no idea, but they got to do something.
Are you willing to make that sort of investment in one guy? In two of the top
No,
three to four prospects that this team has?
not for 1 year. No, not for a rental. If he had 2 or 3 years, yes, I would do it.
Yeah, that's always the issue. You still have to re-sign Schwarber. You are going to have to make a bigger investment in the team. You think you can keep another guy? They don't seem all that interested in like, oh yeah, we're going to go well over this next tax apron where we end up paying
Right.
basically end up paying $1 for every dollar we spend. Like, all right, you just doubled the salary of this team. How do you feel,
Yeah.
John? Like, I don't think he's all that interested.
John's not that happy these days. I don't think with the finances at least. I think with the team he is, but him really tempering our expectations is real. It's a real buzzkill. That's not like him at all usually.
That's when it's him coming out to be like, well, maybe
Yeah.
that tells you like, yo, don't blame Dave. This isn't a day
Right.
when the owner comes out and says, well, yeah, that's suddenly now it's yeah, his hands are tied. He is working with an internal budget. And I'm fine with the off-season budget. Like, all right, this team is supposed to be really freaking good. Get through half the year, see where you are.
Yes.
And then you expand. All right, what do we actually need to add to this thing? What's working? What isn't? If that's not the case either, and they're just going to add at the margins like they have the last few years, it's hard to have a ton of confidence that the bats they already have are going to come through in the postseason.
Yeah, I'm not comfortable with this at all. And you're right. It felt like, all right, we're going to take a couple shots with Romano and Kepler and see where we are, and then we'll
Yeah.
adjust. And they signed Robertson. I mean, that's not the adjustment I'm looking for right now. I don't think it's the adjustment anyone's looking for. And when you're telling me he's worried about, like, oh, we got to worry about the product in 5 or 6 years. Hey, as a season ticket holder, how about you keep off with the ticket price increases until 5 or 6 years then? Because every year I feel like my tickets are going up. So let's go. Let's get some product out here. I mean, what are these fans? I mean, how many Phillies fans won't be around in 5 or 6 years? I mean, come on. There's a lot of old heads watching the games.
That's the we got to worry about 5 or 6 years from now. Why? Like then
Yeah,
you just figure that out then. I know a certain amount of long-term planning has to go in. It's not
of
football
course.
where every contract is basically a 1-year contract. I know the guaranteed money comes into it. You do have to have some sort of eye on the future, but why put together a team of $20 million plus players, hitters and pitchers, if you're not going to go all in on them? Like no team is ever complete in freaking the offseason. Like you have to add
Mm-mm.
something. You see what it's going to take this year. You've seen over the last couple of years what the team's shortcomings are. To temper our expectations like this, and hey, maybe they end up having a big deadline and this is all just us complaining, but I hear this conversation and it's an extension of the team. It's just more of a frustrating, like, oh yeah, we got to worry about
Yes.
6 years from now. No, we don't.
Right. And read the room. I don't know. Did you see the numbers came out of TV viewership? All-Star game ratings were super high. The Phillies have the highest local TV ratings of any team in Major League Baseball with 325,000 people are watching a game every night. Read the room, man. The city is behind you like no other city is right now. And to come out and be like, hey, just taking a whiz all over us and being like, yeah, sorry, 325,000 people. Just be patient. We're going to do the best we can, but worry about 5 years from now at the same time. Nobody wants to hear that. Even if that is the plan, nobody wants to hear that.
Yes, that's lie to me. Lie to me for
Yes.
Christ's
Yeah,
sake. Like,
we're all
and I
in. We're
just
going to go after everybody.
like flags fly forever. Those banners don't come down. Like in a couple of weeks when
Right.
we honor Jimmy Rollins, like guess what? I'm gonna be super excited about that, and I'm not gonna be like, yeah, but if they didn't go in all in on Jimmy's teams, maybe 2016 wouldn't have been so terrible. Like,
Right. Yeah.
I'm not gonna be thinking that when I'm looking at like MVP Jimmy Rollins and thinking about his World Series parade. I'm going to be
Right.
thinking, man, that would be cool to do again.
And when you're this close, and hey, you're the steward of the national North American professional sports team with the most losses. Hey, how about you just tell us we're close. We're close. Let's go all in,
Yeah, like
man. Just tell us. We're throwing everything we got. Someone may have more than we have and throw more, but we're throwing everything we got at these people at this deadline. That's all I want to
yeah,
hear.
yeah, the 11,300 some losses that this team has accrued, like the idea of worrying about the future is kind of insane to me. Just
Right.
because look at who we are. This is forever the worst team in the history of sports. Give me
Right.
something to care about right now.
Exactly. We're close. We can smell it. There's no one great in baseball right now. But I guess, I mean,
No.
Scott is in the chat saying maybe he's right. Maybe I'm just a fan right now speaking from emotion and irritation. But Scott in the chat is saying, like, it's not in the team's interest for Middleton saying we're all in if Dombrowski's trying to do a deal. And I don't know. But Dombrowski could easily say, yeah, John's, he's saying what he's got to say. I mean, he's a crazy owner. That's why I'm here.
He can say nothing though.
Yes, he could.
He can just go about not saying we're worried about 5-6 years from now. Like that doesn't need
Right.
to be said either. Yes, there's absolutely no reason to come out and show your hand. There's absolutely no reason to say, "Oh, we're all in." Like no, there's no positive in that. But to
Yes,
come
it's
out and
rational.
temper the expectations of your fan
Yes.
base, like that doesn't need
Yes.
to be done either. It could just be like, "Hey
Exactly.
man, we're working, we'll see what happens." Yeah, we're
Yes.
trying to win the World Series, the end. That's it. We're trying to win the World Series. It's a very short, easy sentence to say. You don't have to make a declaration one way or the other about what you're thinking the direction of this franchise should be. It's just, yeah, man, we went into the break in first place and we're trying to win the series. Okay.
100%.
I
Yes,
accept that.
100%.
Like,
And I guess what I'm saying is, if you're going to make a statement one way or the other,
yeah.
I don't want to hear the one he made. That's not working for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Tyler Zulli will be with us in about 10 minutes. Let's throw it to our first commercial break. 1-800-588-2300 Empire today. It's great with the delay. That's perfect.
That's so
Listen,
weird with the lag.
I have been telling PHLY Flyers listeners for over a year now. Empire Today is the place for new flooring. There are no better options than Empire Today when it comes to your flooring for one simple reason. Empire Today has flooring experts who are with you every step of the way and give you the experience that no big box store can match, starting with their ability to bring the showroom right to your home. That's right. You can pick the right flooring and the right colors for your space, in your space. See how it all looks with your furniture, in your house, up against your paint colors. I can't think of a better system than actually seeing this new flooring in your house. And guess what? They'll take the precise measurements for you and have all your questions answered, so there are never any surprises. And with Empire Today, you get that clear, upfront, and all-inclusive pricing. Plus, you can schedule installation as soon as the next day because you want your house looking right now, not a couple of weeks from now. So schedule a free in-home estimate today because some things are just better at home. And PHLY listeners, listen up, because you can receive a $350 discount when using promo code PHLY. You heard that right. $350 off with discount code PHLY. Restrictions apply. Visit empiretoday.com/PHLY for full details. And now, it's time to hear about Pico.
Anthony Gargano, PHLY, VG. My brother, you look hot.
Dude.
I mean, I feel kind of hot too, to be honest with you.
Dude, my house is like a sauna meets a steam room. It's insane. This heat's unbearable.
Well, look, this Philly heat is no joke. It's summertime, man.
Dude, if I could tell you, I stood with my head in the freezer for 10 minutes before I left the house today. Disaster.
Brother, just turn on the AC. How come you just don't turn on your air conditioner?
Trying to save some cash, man. Save the world. Save the climate. Go green. All that stuff.
Listen, I feel you. Do yourself a favor. I got your answer.
All right.
Like, do it solid. Check out Pico's energy saving rebates. All right. They've got deals on Energy Star cooling equipment that actually work and cut your bills.
So you're telling me no more freezer head?
No, not unless you want to look like a freezer head.
No, I'm good.
All
This is
right.
great news.
I'm serious. You're good, man. Trust me. Just head to pico.com/ways to save. They got tips for everything. Heating, cooling, lighting, you name it. It's Pico. We love Pico.
I'm in.
Oh, we're back, aren't we? Yep, there we are. Welcome back. And Anthony ran in and came out, and suddenly we've been transported back to our home studios out of the office. Yeah, so
He comes in hot. He comes in hot in that segment too. Boy, he came in here like bam.
He's just got the one read today, and he gets to go back home. It's a very, very
Nice.
quick day
Yeah,
for
yeah.
him. It's odd that they would even bring him in for such a thing.
That's what they do, man. No days off. No days off.
Oh, no, never. So Mike Trout in town this weekend, and it's funny, it still feels like this is a big deal to some people, and he is, like, I won't say completely washed at this point, and it's still cool that we have a guy from the area who's, going to go to the Hall of Fame, won those MVPs. He's been awesome, but like, he's hitting, 220 this year? Like, 240
Right.
maybe? He
He's
went
got his
4 for
his averages
15.
down, but his power numbers are back a little bit.
They're still decent. 17 home runs. I think he's got 6 doubles this year. So it's not terrible, but 4 for 15 with a couple of doubles, 3 runs batted in, and 7 K this weekend. So it's still a big deal when he comes around. It feels like the fan base still really shows up for it.
They love him. I am one. I don't understand it. I just don't get it. I get that he's from here. It's a great story, but yeah, I've never had the love that this area has for Mike Trout, but I guess it still is a big deal. Actually, I stopped into my local bar yesterday, and there was, I guess, the whole community. There was one guy rooting for Trout and one guy loathing and booing and hating on Trout. You couldn't find like more two polar opposite guys. The one guy who liked Trout had his Trout jersey on, and the other guy was just completely miserable and hated anytime it wasn't even a strike called, he would be booing. This guy just loathes Mike Trout. So I don't loathe him, but I'm indifferent, I guess. I'm just like, yeah, I don't know.
I always was pro Mike Trout until he signed his extension in Anaheim. And listen, the way things have gone, maybe it really saved us a whole big bag of money and watching, the tail end of his career and all that. But like, it's just he chose somewhere else, and he still gets to cosplay as this great
Right.
Philadelphian who shows up to every game. Like, I don't know. I don't know. He
I
plays over
agree with
there
you.
and purposely chose not to come home. I don't know. A
Yes.
great Philadelphian to me, if I was one of the best center fielders ever, I would probably try to help the team I grew up rooting for win a World Series. But that's just me.
100%.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Maybe I'm
Maybe if
still
I
bitter
was a
about that
huge,
too.
yeah, maybe that's really what it comes down to. But people are still fans, it seems. And now we are joined by our PHLY Phillies correspondent. It is the one and only Tyler Zulli. What's going on this morning, Tyler?
Good morning, guys. What's happening?
What's up, Tyler?
Not just really enjoying ourselves on this Monday morning here as we bash Mike Trout. Tyler, for or against Mike Trout? Yay or nay?
I mean, yeah, and it has nothing to do with the Philly connection, the Millville connection. I think this is truly one of those guys that if his career goes a little bit differently, if he stays a little bit healthier, we're talking about one of the greatest players of all time. So I think it's a 4, not necessarily because he's an Eagles fan, which is cool, but like the guy legitimately was one of the most talented players of my kind of growing up and maturation of being a baseball fan. Absolutely for Mike Trout.
All right,
Nah,
Tyler, a baseball fan, so he is
course,
pro a
of course.
guy who, like, we all got to see, become a Hall of Famer. I get it. I understand. I'm bitter. I'm bitter that he chose the Angels.
I saw a great tweet where it was like, Mike Trout, all he does right now is hoard footballs that little kids should be getting at Eagles games.
Yeah, just like he's a grown man. He's worth trillions of dollars. And it's like, Zach Ertz, here you go. Here's another touchdown that from the Super Bowl
Yes.
season that should have gone to a child. Like, what's he doing with these
Yes.
footballs? What is he? Doesn't
Yeah.
he have a trophy room of his own accomplishments? Anyway.
Yes.
Anyway. Tyler, David Robertson is coming back at 40. Thoughts?
Necessity. I think at this point, necessity, right? This bullpen stinks. There's no question about it. They were an arm short heading into the season. They were 2 arms short when Jose Alvarado got suspended. They are still an arm short with the acquisition of David Robertson. But what I think it's the necessity of it is the stabilization. They clearly are lacking in terms of guys they trust in the 7th inning and beyond in close games. Right now they have 3 guys, and I still think the city is still split on Tanner Banks, even though for the most part he's been really good. So some people think there may be even 2 guys that they trust. So I think with Robertson, you get a guy who you know exactly what you're getting, a guy who has good swing and miss stuff. Cutter is still good. 72 strikeouts last year in less than 72 innings pitched, or something along those lines. Like the strikeout numbers were more than an inning pitched or more than a strikeout per inning pitched. Walk rates have always been his issue. He does tend to be in the lower third of walk, percentile of his career, but he doesn't give up a lot of hits. So his whips look pretty good. He's in the 1-1s, the 1-2s. What I think you're getting out of David Robertson is stabilization. And I think you're getting a guy who, when you throw him, you kind of know what you're getting. And even at 40 years old with maybe diminished velocity, last year he was really good. 3 flat ERA in a ton of appearances for the Rangers last year. So I think it's a necessity, but it's a stabilizer, at least in the middle portion of your bullpen.
Do you think they're able to stipulate no celebrating home runs? Like, what if we can just get him to not jump up and down in the bullpen? I think maybe they can get a little something extra out of him. We know
Yeah,
they're
it's in the contract. The contract that he signed says you are only allowed a firm handshake, and that's it.
Yeah, give us a fist bump, but not with your pitching arm. You gotta use your glove hand to give us the fist pump.
Yes.
Just make sure you can stay healthy. Stay out of those off the field injuries. Tyler, like, I assume they're going to be adding bullpen pieces. Like you said, they needed bullpen pieces this winter. The suspension has added to that need. We've had some guys kind of come into prominence, but there's just not enough arms out there. But in terms of a bat, you look at Trey Turner, last 17 games, he's hitting 221. We got a big weekend out of Schwarber and Harper, and it's kind of been those three, when Harper's been healthy, carrying this offense this year. Is there a bat that you think they're capable of adding that could, like, seriously help this offense, especially come October?
I'll be honest, I don't know. I genuinely don't know the answer to that question. And it's not because I don't think they're willing to give up pieces. I do think Dombrowski will look to move, higher touted prospects. I think it's more along the lines of, there are right now 20 teams that are 3 games below 500 or better. Like, 2/3 of the league still thinks they're contenders. Are 20 teams contenders? Absolutely not. But there are teams that are like 50-50 or 51-49 that think they are contenders, and we're 10 days away from the trade deadline. It becomes difficult to understand who is going to be a seller and who's not. There's a bunch of teams that should be sellers, such as the Minnesota Twins, such as I think there's a handful of teams like, do the Cardinals sell? They're playing decent ball, but are they a true contender? I don't know. Are the Brewers a true contender? I don't know. Like, there's a bunch of teams that are, kind of in that right around 500, a little bit better mark, that maybe think they're postseason teams. That I don't know if that means they're buyers, but I do think that maybe they'll stand pat, or they're going to ask for, Tanner Scott level of return for a B tier type of reliever. So when it comes to the bats, I think there's a handful of names. I know VG's big on Eugenio Suarez. I know there's a couple of different guys that have been floated out, whether it's Jarren Duran, but like the Red Sox have been playing good ball over the last couple of weeks. Is it a Jesus Sanchez, who is a good player but may go for great player return? Like, I really genuinely don't know how to dictate the market just yet, because I think there are too many teams that still think they can be contenders.
Let me see. So 4 teams I think that we can say are not. I don't think the Angels can think they're a contender at this point. So of teams that you think you can get, I mean, Taylor Ward obviously put on display, Ramon Laureano, Cedric Mullins, Adolis Garcia. I mean, they all feel like they're upgrades here.
Of the four that you just mentioned, I think the likeliest is Ramon Laureano. Right. Because I think there's a way that the Phillies would try to package Laureano plus a reliever and make a move. Maybe. And something along those lines where they solidify 2 spots. That's where I think the Phillies find themselves willing to move prospects, is if they're able to get 2 major league type players in 2 separate spots, outfield and in the back end of the bullpen, and solidify themselves there.
Does Seranthony interest you at all?
It's funny. Like, if you stripped away the name Seranthony Dominguez and just sent me the stats, I'd probably say yes. But he's one of the few guys in baseball that I don't objectively view, because I just have this like Seranthony fatigue, from the last few seasons, where if you just sent me his ERA and his strikeout numbers, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's a guy that would help. And then you'd say Seranthony Dominguez, and I'm like, nope.
Yep. I'm the same, but he's having a nice year.
That's the thing. Like, especially with relievers, it's always like, well, listen, it's the good season. Maybe you take advantage. It's just, do I trust this guy because I know this guy? And that's what it comes down to with Seranthony. Even if it is the good season, maybe not.
I think when it comes to that good and bad season, like, you're really, there's a more willingness. And I know Dave Dombrowski has had a propensity to say, I'm going to acquire guys who have multiple years left, especially if they're going to be high leverage guys. If you're looking to add to the middle or maybe even the back end of your bullpen. I do think there may be a willingness to acquire a guy on a 1-year deal or team arbitration type of year deal because of I think you're trying to catch that lightning in a bottle. Now, like one guy that I know that they've sent scouts to, or they've sent scouts to the stadium. I don't know if it's specifically for him. My guess would be that it is Jake Bird from the Colorado Rockies, where I know that he and Bryce Harper have had words before, but I think if they can put those past each other, the Rockies are definitively a seller for anybody that's not part of their young core. I think Jake Bird is going to demand a lot of attention, but I do think there would be interest there for a guy like Jake Bird.
The
Well, that's
Rockies,
weird.
one
That's
of
just
3
because-
teams actually out of it.
Yes,
Yes.
correct.
I mean, it feels like Bryce is the de facto GM here. I mean, can you see him being cool with Jake Bird coming here?
Well, I don't think it was like the pot shots that were called out were like your organization's a joke, your team's a dumpster fire, you don't win. And I think if Jake Bird looked in the mirror and had the truth serum, he'd be like, yeah, you're probably right. Like the Rockies are dreadful. Do I think that they could put that behind him? Probably. I think that it's not like he was saying, your mom. You know what I mean, right? Like, so I think it's an on the field thing. I think they could probably put it behind him.
Do you think he's having a better season than Seranthony?
So I think Jake Bird, his numbers are a little inflated recently because he gave up 5 or 6 runs against Boston right before the All-Star break, and he was pitching really, really well prior to that. And I think he's probably somewhere in the 3s now because of that 5 or 6 run outburst. But I think he's the type of guy that I think provides consistency for a bullpen that certainly is in need of it.
Tyler, we've seen a little bit of Kyle Schwarber magic lately, going back to the swing off and the All-Star game, and then right out of the break, couple home runs, including a grand slam. Is the Schwarber signing their best free agent signing, just in terms of value that they've gotten out of him? Obviously, yeah, man, Bryce Harper, that's awesome, but we expected it. We needed them to go out and get a superstar. They basically told us they were doing that, and it's not as if you didn't spend to get him. $330 million, 13 years, that whole deal. Like, just in terms of the value you've gotten out of Schwarber, it's hard for me to think of a better free agent signing in recent memory.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the AAV per year, the $79 million contract that he signed, Kyle Schwarber is now the 81st highest paid player per AAV, which is just absurd considering there aren't 81 players even I look at the guys that maybe just right around him in terms of like AAV per year. It's Nick Castellanos is the next one up at $20 million, but like Joe Musgrove, who's a fine pitcher, but I don't think is the impact that Kyle Schwarber makes, right? And then, of course, you end up with a guy like Jose Ramirez, where it's like, why is he only making $20 million a year? But I think in terms of impact versus the number that he signed for, Schwarber has to be in that consideration. I mean, over the last 6 years, they have signed 2 guys to two contracts for just north of $200 million. Now, Wheeler's gotten the extension for a lot of money, but you're talking about 2 contracts for just north of 250 or so that have probably been your 2 best players or 2 of your 3 best players over the course of their contract. Schwarber is getting better. Wheeler's getting better. These guys are in their early 30s, mid 30s now, and there's no sign of slowing down. Schwarber's becoming a more complete hitter. Wheeler's becoming, and probably has been, the best starting pitcher in baseball since they've signed him. Like, in terms of bang for your buck, the Phillies have gotten a ton in return for 2 pretty reasonable contracts out of Wheeler and Schwarber.
Why hasn't he been re-signed yet? Is it as simple as he's not dumb? Like, yeah, man, if I'm going to hit 50 home runs this year, I kind of want to test the market a little bit, or at least have other offers to take the John Middleton. Like, is it simply that? It feels like this is a no-brainer for the Phils.
Yeah, it certainly feels that way. I think from what the reports have said, he's interested. The team's interested. Harper's vouched for it. Middleton said he wants him back. Like, there's clear mutual interest in a return, but I also think Schwarber's not an idiot, and he also understands that this is probably his last big deal of his career, and he would be foolish to not at least see what's available. I think we talk about hometown discounts, and I think they're a little bit they're a little overplayed at times. I do think he would give out somewhat of a discount. Like if it's 150 versus 160, he's going to be like, yeah, I'll stay with the Phillies for 10 million less. But if it's 150 and 190, like I think there's going to be consideration to, hey man, that's a lot of money to leave off the table. There's no doubt. I think everybody in the city wants Kyle Schwarber to return, and I think Kyle Schwarber would like to return, all things being equal or close to it. But I think he would be foolish to not at least dip his toe in the free agent waters a little bit.
Yeah, it just feels like this should have been done this offseason. I mean,
Oh, for
I don't know
sure.
why we went into this. I don't know why they went into this without.
And
this still
BG,
hanging
I'll
over
be
their
honest
head.
with you. It's going to cost them more now in free agency than it would have this offseason.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, considerably more. No one expected this out of Schwarber this year.
I mean, this might be his best season period as a player.
Yes.
No,
realistically, are you looking at like you think 4 years at 30 mil a year?
Yeah, I think it's probably 4, and I think you may be creeping in on closer to 35 or 40.
Jeez, oh man.
Well, and I will say this: I think the Phillies have done have made it very obvious that they are willing to give out more years to keep the yearly money down. This offseason, I think they're going to buck that trend and do the inverse, because you've got two guys in Schwarber and in Real Muto who are a little bit older, who I think you do want to keep. And I think with Real Muto, like we know the offense has dipped, but the productivity defensively is still there, and the catcher position stinks across baseball. I think you probably are going to overpay per year. I don't want to say overpay, more pay per year to maybe keep the years down, which is something that Dave Dombrowski has not done over the last few seasons.
I mean, just given their idea of, well, we got to be competitive in 5-6 years. Like, well, that means you can't have all these lineup spots dedicated to guys who are going to be 40. Like, so you have to keep the years down somewhere. You can't have all these 10-plus year contracts for guys who are well past their prime. So I guess that makes a ton of sense. VG and I talked about this last week, though. With the All-Star game here next year, I really want to see Schwarber representing in that home run derby. He didn't do it this past home run derby, but he said, well, maybe in Philly next year, perhaps a little bit of a hint he plans on being back. But Tyler, I know you're a little bit of a purist. What'd you think of the swing off?
I loved it for the All-Star game. I want no implementation of it in a game, but I thought for an exhibition fun, it was a lot of fun. But here's the thing too, like, and Bill, I don't know how you feel about this hosting the Flyer show. VG, I don't know your thoughts either, but like, I don't like shootouts. I think shootouts are a dumb way to decide a winner of a 65-minute plus hockey game where you're beating each other up and, grinding and going into the boards. And then it's like, here's a skills competition. I think if you're adding that to a regular season game or a postseason game, God forbid, like, it's going to become a skills competition. But for an exhibition event, I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought it was a cool way to, especially one that doesn't mean anything anymore. Now that they don't determine home field advantage, like, I thought it was a lot of fun.
I'm going down tonight. The weather's going to be perfect. It feels like dew point is low. If I sit through 9 innings and it's coming up on 9:30, 10 o'clock, there's nothing I'd rather see more than a swing off, Tyler. Come on.
So let me ask you this. If the Phillies are sending 3 guys to the plate right now, it's Schwarber, it's Harper, and then who?
Oh, no. See, I think the swing off should just be the next 3 guys coming up for the next inning are the ones who do the swing off. You don't get to pick your boppers. Nah,
that'll be a lot of fun. That'll be a lot of fun when the Phillies send up Kepler, Rojas, and Stott.
Yeah, let's go. I'm in. If they can't hit batting pitches, come on.
It could really. You'd have some unlikely heroes in that situation. Listen, I am one of the few remaining people who likes the shootout in the NHL. Now, no, I would never want it in a playoff game, and I think there's probably better ways to determine a winner. I would love to see 3-on-3 extended just a little longer, maybe. Not even 10 minutes. Give it 7-8 minutes. But, like, I think eventually naming a winner with a shootout isn't the worst thing. But a swing-off does seem like a vast departure. Like, it's not as if that's a part of the game until they just invented it. there've always been shootouts in hockey. It's been a part of Olympic hockey forever. It's how D2 ends, which to me, all right, well, then that means it's hockey. But like, I feel like a swing off is just, oh yeah, and it's going to be a batting practice pitcher and your own catcher is catching. Like, that's just a little too far of a departure.
So what you're saying is you would feel differently about this if the Sandlot ended with a swing off.
Yes, I would. Yeah. No, if they beat the rich kids in a swing off, absolutely done. All right, let's do it. Let's bring it back.
Plus, it gives a little glory to the batting practice pitcher. Let that guy get a little glory. He works hard all year. Throw him out an extra innings in the regular season. Put a little shine on him.
Give him a Baseball Reference page.
Yeah,
Yes.
he got in there. He served up 3 for 3 for Johan Rojas. He might be the greatest batting practice pitcher of all time.
Right. Hey, for comparison purposes, I'm looking at the highest paid designated hitters this year. Stanton is $32 million and Shohei's $28 million. He's definitely going to exceed Stanton's $32 million.
I think it's almost undeniable he's going to. And the thing is, too, with I understand people still kind of view the DH position as like, just put a hitter in there and it's fine, which is fine if you don't have somebody like Kyle Schwarber, who's a premier player. It may not be a premier position, but he's a premier player at that position. I think it's hard to envision a lineup next year that doesn't include Kyle Schwarber's batting.
Yeah, well,
not
and
a good
JT,
one.
right?
Yeah.
We got to look at JT. He's got to come back next year, I would think.
I think that, like, I in May was like, you got to find somebody else. I don't care who it is. Stopgap.
I was with you.
Ready. But I think at this point, and it's not about the bat. I think it's just about the numbers that the pitchers have with him, his ability to. And I don't love his pitch sequencing. I think that that's something he's not been great at throughout his career. But as in terms of being a battery mate, in terms of pop time, in terms of defense behind the plate, it's undeniable he's been that guy, as a defensive catcher. So I think even if he hits, my thing is if he can hit 250, then I'm sold.
Oh yeah, with some doubles. I don't care the home runs. Just give me the doubles.
Depth power.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just saving that offense for the postseason. Yeah, he's just saving it. He's got it in a savings account. He's going to tap into it once October starts, Tyler.
So is Bryson Stott, right?
Yeah, they're all just waiting. What's the point? What's the point of wasting it? Tyler, what'd you think of the unveiling of the All-Star logo for next year?
Yeah, I think it's great. I think all the eyes of the world are going to be on Philly in terms of sports next year, whether it's the All-Star game, it's the World Cup. It's going to be, Philly's going to be part of the hotbed of sports across the world, not just in America anymore. Like obviously you use the bell. It makes total sense.
People were giving him a hard time about using the bell, being uncreative. I don't know. What else are you going to do?
Right. Every All-Star, obviously, clearly every All-Star game has used the bell, and it's kind of, I know it's cliche, but it's kind of like if you go to a city and there's a major landmark, it would be like going to St. Louis and the Arch is not being included in the All-Star. Like, you know what I mean? It's the landmark of the city.
It's also the signature of the
Phillies actually use the bell.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the signature thing of the ballpark is the Liberty Bell. And they have used it a bunch of years in a row. Like I grabbed a couple hats off my wall, the 52 year, and the 96.
That's a good hat.
The 96 is awesome. I love this hat. I like that logo a lot.
Hat.
I don't see I know a lot of people were, couldn't they come up with something else? Like what?
Like what? William Penn?
Yeah, exactly.
The Phillies actually used the Liberty Bell in their logo, in that one diamond logo. It's a no-brainer. Just make it look cool. I think they made it look kind of cool. It's in motion. It looks like it's swinging.
Yeah. Hashtag ring the bell. It just kind of makes sense.
Sure.
Yeah, right. Hey, you brought up Tayit. They fast-tracking him. He's batting 258. They're promoting him.
I think the power is undeniable. Like the ball explodes off of his bat. I know his average has come down a little bit in recent weeks, but the kid can hit. I don't know about fast tracking him because he still is 19. I don't think he's even 20 yet. There's no doubt about it. This kid is part of their future plans. But they just don't have a catching option in between him and Marchand, I guess, is really where the gap is. But I don't think they're going to rush him. But I do think that if he continues to produce, they would like to see him, continue to go up against better pitching for sure.
All right, Tyler. Thank you for joining us today. Really appreciate your time. What do you have on tap for the Philly show this week?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a lot of Robertson, a lot of trade deadline talk. We're just 10 days away from the trade deadline. And I'll be honest, I have no idea. And I don't think anybody really does. Would I be shocked if there's a blockbuster move? Nope. Would I be shocked if the Phillies don't do a whole lot because the asking price for a reliever is astronomical? Also, probably not. So I think we'll do a lot of trade deadline talk about Robertson. And I do want to talk about one thing in particular that has really perturbed me this season is the Phillies base running. They are a dreadful base running team.
Just this year, or
probably in years past.
Ever since Davey Lope,
like,
ever since Davey Lopes left,
Yeah.
I feel like 2009.
Davey.
But we got a lot to get into, and I think it's a lot of what you guys have been talking about today.
All right, appreciate it, Tyler. Thank you for coming by. That is our PHLY Phillies correspondent, Tyler Zulli, joining us. Want to get into a little bit more All-Star Game stuff, and we're gonna call this the big deal, presented by Cherry Hill Mitsubishi. Cherry Hill Mitsubishi. That's right. Check him out online 24/7. CherryHillMitsubishi.com. I'm really getting better at saying this word.
Dude, I wouldn't even know you had an issue with it the last few days. You sound great with it.
So we saw that those all the uses of the Liberty Bell, the fourth time in 4 attempts at an All-Star logo. I saw this on Twitter. I think it was Tucker Bagley put it out. That 96 one is really freaking cool. I've gotten tired of it as a side patch on hats, because Hat Club uses it like with every other hat they put out for the Phils. But there's no denying it's a really cool logo. And I don't know what else they would use other than the Liberty Bell, quite honestly. Like, yeah, maybe they could be more creative, but it's what we do. It's the logo.
Yeah, everybody knows Phil. I will say, if I got to critique one thing, we get that MasterCard's a sponsor and they pay a lot of money. Do we need the little MasterCard circles on the main logo everywhere? Like, can't we just see it during the game and all over the TV screen? I don't know. It's a little tacky throwing the corporate symbol in there.
That always bothers me. Like, what are you actually getting anything at? Like, does anyone look at this and go, "Oh, well, yes, I must go with MasterCard now"? Like,
I better apply for a card now. Yeah, exactly.
Like, and is that going to be on? Like, if I buy a hat, like, is that going to be on there? That's.
I fear it's going to be. That would suck. Yeah, that would suck.
100% that's on the hat. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's always like when they first started introducing the jersey advertisements in the NHL. People are like, "Well, oh my God, that's gonna." I was like, "There's no way those are gonna be on the jerseys you actually buy. Like, no one would want that." And then some of them, some of the teams have put them out, but like, I don't see the need for it. Is there really a great return on investment? Oh yeah, we're gonna put it in the logo. Like, all right, cool, thanks.
Yeah. I feel like if I was working for that corporation, I don't want to be like people to be like, they're ruining the logo with your corporate. No, we get it. They're paying a lot of money, but you have a lot of money. It's not like you're like a small business. You're paying a lot of money, and your MasterCard little symbols are going to be all over the whole broadcast and the week leading up to it, and the branding and everything.
The branding is going to be everywhere. It's not as if MasterCard is some unknown company. Like, oh, well, if we weren't in the logo, no one would have any idea. Like, I think we'd be able to put this one together when everything is going to be presented by MasterCard all week. That was just, like, that is a decent, if there's one thing wrong with this logo, it's really that more than anything. Before we hit this 10 o'clock, though, I wanted to
Big Farce Joe's in the chat says when he sees it reminds him he's poor and he needs to pay his bill.
That's what it's the subliminal advertising. Like, you caught up on your credit card statement yet? Do you really want to get those calls from the collection agency? Why don't you go pay that minimum balance while you're at it?
Come on, pay up, Big Farts.
Tyler mentioned the idea of the whole sports world eyes on Philly next year. And I was reading like article in the Inquirer, I think, just about the different things that are going to be going on. And yeah, we're going to have the World Cup games and we're going to have the All-Star game. I feel like that when they introduced this idea of the 250th celebration and they announced like, oh yeah, we're going to have the 2026 All-Star game like 5 or 6 years ahead of time. Didn't it feel like we were going to have a whole lot more going on? Like, is it just now the World Cup and the MLB All-Star game? Like, is there no other major sporting event or anything?
Yeah,
The
don't we
US
have like the
Open.
U.S. Open?
Yeah, the
Yeah, we
US
got a
Open.
major golf event here.
Oh, okay. I meant real
Um,
sports, not hobby games.
oh, hey.
A shot at golf.
Yeah, like where is the hockey All-Star game this year? Why is that not here?
It was originally, I guess, going to be in Long Island, and now it's canceled because it's an Olympic year, and they realized it was stupid to do it. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna have an All-Star. Like, no, that's not gonna happen. So there's gonna be like some meet and greet event, but no actual game. And I think they're gonna get it next year, but I don't think we have the NBA All-Star game. It just feels like there was gonna be more. Like maybe we'll try to get WrestleMania and the Super Bowl, and it's like, yeah, we're not getting any of that.
Well, we just had them last year, right? Did we have WrestleMania last year?
They had it a year ago. Yeah, it was 2024. Places have it back to back. I think it's going to be back to back in Vegas this year now. So you can do it. You can do it twice in a short period of time. It's in Orlando, like once every 3 years. I don't see why we
That's
couldn't bid
true.
on it this year. I'm just saying, like, it felt like there was going to be a little bit more.
Oh, I guess we're getting some March Madness tournament games. That's about it.
But that's like a
that's the
pretty
four
regular
things.
thing, isn't there?
Yeah, we get that every couple of years. Yeah, it is a little bit of a like, eh.
I just felt like it was going to be a bigger deal.
Yeah, the Sixers, I guess, with their arena stuff going on, and Josh Harris probably telling them, we may have arena deals going on. You don't want to come to a dying arena. I don't know. But yeah, it does feel a little like, well, the World Cup is going to be massive.
World Cup,
I am probably
underestimating. I am probably underestimating what the World Cup really is because I don't care that much about soccer. But like, it is a global event, and it is going to be here. Like the estimates I saw, like 500,000 people coming into the city over that time period. It's going to be massive. So I don't want to undersell that. Maybe the World Cup.
I think you are.
And maybe the World Cup just takes precedence over everything else because it is such a massive undertaking.
Oh yeah,
just in terms of like, preparing
the biggest event in the world.
Yeah,
it's the biggest sporting event in the world, right?
You can buy the hospitality packages right now for the World Cup. They just went on sale, and some of them are upwards to like $8,500, $8,500.
What's that get you?
$8,500. It gets you like all inclusive. You get drinks, you get dinner, you get like a waiter who just like takes care of you the entire time you're there at the game. You get 2 hours of pre-tailgate, 2 hours of post-tailgate, lobster tail, wine. I don't know, but it's insane.
Do you get it? Is it like a suite? I wonder if you get a suite.
You get a suite.
You just get tickets.
It's a suite. Yeah, so it is a suite. And if you want like just like game day tickets, they're going to be going on sale later in a couple months. And it's going to be a raffle pretty much. So you go into a big drawing, and that's how you're going to get them.
All right, so I'm looking at it. A single game is $1,300 for the venue series, $8,000, but that includes 4 to 9 matches at the venue of your choice. So you could pick what matches you want, different venues.
Yeah, there's package deals that you can get. You can follow the team. You can get like the real nice one, which is like I said, you get all that inclusive stuff. It's insane, and that's just for one ticket.
The pitch side lounge, is that an on-the-field lounge, I'm assuming?
I assume, yeah.
So maybe this is just such a big deal. I just thought we were going to have more cool stuff. I don't know.
This is the coolest of the cool, man.
The World Cup is the coolest thing imaginable. All right,
For
I'll accept
sports,
it.
I kind of think.
I will
I mean,
accept that I am just wrong about what the World Cup is. Like, I know it's a massive thing. I just feel like it's not. I thought we were going to have more Philly-centric stuff. Like, not for
okay.
tourists to come in, but for us
Oh,
to
I got you.
enjoy personally as Philadelphia fans. But, I
We'll
understand
see.
it's
We'll
a
see.
money-making
It's
venture for the
early.
city. It's early.
I mean, I would imagine there's got to be a crazy concert planned, I would think. This would be ridiculous if there's not some insane
there
concert
has
planned.
to be a great concert in the works. Like,
Yeah.
we
On the
put on
Parkway?
we put on pretty big shows every year when it's not the 250th. Like, it is
Yes.
a history of Philly thing. There've always been these massive deals like that. So I am expecting more to be announced. I was just thinking about it this morning. Like, I don't know, we can't get an NBA All-Star game or something. We just can't get a little bit more going on.
No, this franchise does not deserve an NBA All-Star game here in this town. I'm
No
sorry.
way.
I would
I can
protest. I
fully
would protest the Sixers getting an All-Star game here. No way.
I can fully see Harris, especially like these things are determined a couple years in advance. Like, no, we're not doing it at the Flyers building. I'm not doing this at
Right,
Comcast building.
exactly.
That does me absolutely no good. I don't see any of the money. No.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
I could absolutely
Yes.
see him
2030.
arguing
2030 is the one I want.
against his own team
Yeah.
hosting the All-Star game.
100%. Yeah, he doesn't deserve it. He probably doesn't. You're right. He probably doesn't want it, but they definitely don't deserve it.
All right. I want to get into a little bit more of this and some Eagles stuff. We have Fran Duffy joining us in about half an hour. But first, let's hear about the Bet Park Sportsbook from VG.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about this. Pull it up. Let me get my little notes here. I wasn't quite. All right, here we go. Because I love Bet Parks. I was on it all weekend. Betting, golf. Let me tell you, Scotty Scheffler ruins golf betting unless you bet him. And you should just, I don't know why I don't bet him on Bet Parks because it was like triple money. Where else can you get a $300 return, a 300% return on your money? And I don't. But Philly baseball tonight, South Philly, opening a 3-game set hosting Boston. Live betting on Philadelphia baseball. Of course, it's better on the Bet Parks app. Bet Parks, the official sportsbook and online casino app of the Philly Show and of the Anthony Gargano Show, and the only one that we recommend and use for betting on sports and playing casino games for real money. Wager and watch all the action. Zach Wheeler goes tonight. I think his strikeout was set at 7.5. I'm going over. You can bet game combos or bet individual player performances like the number of strikeouts. Bet which players on both teams will hit home runs or have RBIs. It's all there for you right there on the Bet Parks app. Plus, BetWire is live right inside the Bet Parks app. And BetWire is the all-new sports betting live feed right inside the Bet Parks app with quick videos, hot takes, and game predictions. With Bet Parks, play all your favorite casino games right there in your phone. Plus, check out these new games on the Bet Parks app. Huff and Puff More, Squid Games, The Flintstones, and don't forget about Money Horse. New casino users, you can get up to $1,000 cash back if you're down in your first 24 hours. See betparks.com for details. You must be 21 and in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Michigan, or Maryland. If you got a gambling problem, don't hesitate to call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, I got to tell you.
Oh, yeah, let me get it. I forgot it. If you love to play, you play to win. You bet Parks.
I got to tell you about our friends at Ace Hardware Home Services. Because if you have an outlet you said you'd fix last summer, guess what? It's been a year. Time to close that YouTube tutorial and time to call the experts at Ace Hardware. Because not only does Ace Hardware have all the tools and hardware you need, but now they've got the person to do the fixing as well, because they're not just the helpful hardware folks. They're also the helpful home service and repair folks. From plumbing and electrical to heating and cooling, they've got the trusted pros to keep your home humming all year long. Ace Hardware Home Services. They're bringing helpful home, the helpful you love from the store, now to your front door. From Jersey, from Philly to the Jersey Shore. I love that line and messed it up. Very, very frustrating. But you know what else is frustrating? It's when it's this freaking hot out and your AC isn't running. That's when you know you need to call Ace Hardware Home Services. They helped me out a couple of years ago, and my AC has been running great ever since. You got to check out Ace Hardware Home Services online at acehardwarehomeservices.com to get started on your next project. All right. So we've got 45 days till the NFL kicks off. Of course, it kicks off with Thursday Night Football, Eagles banner unveiling, hosting the Dallas Cowboys. But I want to go back 20 years, VG. This is what I wanted to kick off our Eagles talk with, because I saw on the Inquirer today. I think it was Sealski who wrote the article. Yes, it was Mike Sealski.
Yes, it was
talking
Sealski,
about 20 years ago when the TO drama post Super Bowl really unfolded and culminated with TO doing push-ups in his driveway, sit-ups in his driveway.
Yes.
How vividly do you remember this? Because it feels like yesterday, not 2 decades ago for me.
I couldn't believe it was 20 years. It is pretty much one of the wildest things. It was right. Was it 2005? We saying it felt
05,
reminiscent
yeah.
in a different way. In a completely is not comparable, but the O.J. Simpson where they were following T.O.'s car.
There's like a
and where he was
helicopter
going.
following him
Yes.
home. Yes. Like,
Yes.
obviously, yeah. But no, it's like, it's a similar, like, this is how we're treating it. Like, the guy got
Yes.
sent home because he's a disturbance, and we are treating it like it's OJ.
Yes, dude. Yes. It was pretty wild. And then he just ran with it, man. When he came out and brought his weightlifting bench out.
No, it's like, there's always well, would you rather have him causing a disturbance inside the building or like
Right.
outside, or do you want him outside, like peeing on the walls from there? And it's, you know what? It might have been better to keep him around and just like quarantine him, because now you have set him loose and there's absolutely nothing stopping him from just running the full gamut of crazy and turning it into a circus. And that is exactly what happened.
And I think Andy Reid was happy with that and Jeffrey Lurie, because he's a beloved player.
Yeah.
Fans are kind of on his side, and you're like, look, just let him go. Look at him. This is what we're dealing with. This is what we're dealing with in the clubhouse. We're trying to run a football team.
It was almost a great plan of, you know what? We're not going to insulate this. Everyone's on TO's side. Everyone's on TO's side. We just saw him play his ass off in the Super Bowl on one leg. Like, you know what?
Right.
Let's show you how nuts he is. And
Exactly.
he did not disappoint. Like, he didn't just go out in his driveway and like, listen, fellas, this is an internal issue. Like, I'm gonna get my workouts in. I'm gonna talk to Coach Reid, and we're gonna get this figured out. No, nothing even close to that. He is doing sit-ups on his weight bench in his driveway.
And for what purpose? Who knows?
Yeah, just listen, I'm gonna get my work in. Like, this was him thinking he was being good. Like,
right.
See, they sent me home, but I'm still working out. Like,
right.
All right, Terrell. It really was. It's insane the way this thing fell apart seemingly so quickly. Like, all right, they lose in the Super Bowl, and we're pissed about how all that went down. But so much of the team is the same. They're all coming back. It's not quite.
And he had a contract. He had signed a 4-year contract like the year before. He was on year 1 of like a 4-year deal.
I think it was like a 7-year deal. Like, he's signed.
Oh, I think you're right. I think it was a 7-year deal.
It was a long-term contract that I'm pretty sure the Players Association was like, don't sign this. It's a bad deal. And he was like, I don't want to be in Baltimore so bad. I will sign any deal that the Eagles give me. Sure. Yeah, I would much rather. Who was it? Kyle Bowler at the time was their quarterback when he thought he got traded there.
Pull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just
but I was like, I was never
so fast.
I was never the biggest Donovan fan, so of course I was T.O. But then you're like, back this up, T.O. Calm down. This is chaos right now. I don't know how you're coming back from this, and obviously he couldn't come back from it.
The fact that he rejoined the team and was with them the amount of time he played like 6 or 8 games before they finally sent him home. Like I
don't even remember that. Yeah.
His last game was the one he went for he took like a screen 92 yards for a touchdown against Denver, and it was, you can't come back. It was, really? You had to do. My biggest takeaway from this, though, I always will remember, he comes back for a preseason game against the Bengals, and I think it's Marvin Lewis. They asked him, what do you think's going to happen when he comes out there? He just goes, they're going to go play action to Westbrook, and they're going to go over the top to T.O. first play of the game. And that's exactly what they did. And knowing it was going to happen, they couldn't stop it. And it just made me so mad. Because, like, if you could just not all be huge a-holes, this could have worked for 10 years. But no, it didn't work 6 more games. Like, they couldn't get 6 freaking games out of these two. And it really, I guess it started before this training camp. But this was just, this ain't going to work because they're all nuts.
They are all nuts, but athletes are all. I feel like half of them are completely out of their minds.
Oh, yes.
That is
you
where
need maniacs.
Yeah, some of that falls on Andy. I mean, Andy lost control of that locker room. He could not figure out how to get these two guys on the same page, or just have him be disgruntled and kind of play. I don't know. I feel like, well, maybe Sirianni hasn't had to do anything like this yet, but I feel like he would have had a better handle on this. For all the things I criticize Sirianni on, this is the kind of thing that he would be really good at, I think.
Listen, it's never the egos involved, the player profiles involved were not nearly as big as this because, like, T.O. and that Eagles team, that's as big as it freaking gets in this, like, height of ESPN era here. Like, prior to social media, this was it. This was as big as it could be. But bouncing back from 2 years ago to have this team go to the Super Bowl now with many of the same people involved, with locker room leaders like Kelsey and Cox retiring, he did handle something somewhat similar way freaking better. Now, in 2023, did it kind of suck the way it ended? But I think we'd all trade that for what happened last season, It's pretty remarkable he was able to keep this thing on the tracks when we're starting to hear, maybe AJ and Jalen don't get along the way that, we thought they did, but they seem to have more of a brothers fight relationship than T.O. and Donovan, just like, we don't like each other sort of relationship. But who knows? I will give Sirianni credit, though. He's probably never dealt with this, but they did come out better than, like, this, or than, the Reed Eagles did in this era. They came out on the other end of it.
I mean, God, T.O. may be just unique because he still hasn't let go of this. He takes digs at Donovan anytime he can, and we're 20 years later. Wow.
It really felt like at one point they had, like, buried the hatchet and things were, like, and that was frustrating because I was like, no, I don't care if you're friends now. Win me a Super Bowl or hate each other. I don't care. But now it feels like it's right back to where it was, where they can't help, especially T.O. because he's nuts. Like, they can't help but take shots.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. He seemed like, I saw him like 2 weeks ago. He seemed like a happy guy, but man, for this, he just can't give up on this one.
And, like, yeah, man, when I see Freddie Mitchell talking, it's like, well, what else does Freddie have? T.O. is in the Hall of Fame. He is without a doubt one of the greatest receivers to ever play the game. He can easily not discuss this. It clearly bothers him so much. But I do think it gets back to, like, everyone has to realize what it could have been. You look at how productive T.O. was post being an Eagle. You look at where Donovan's career went. Like, he's still good for a while. Maybe he's not dealing with as many injuries. Maybe he has that number one target, and it's not, like, all downhill after he leaves the Eagles at that age. Like, they both have to look back with a certain amount of, man, this could have been handled so much better. But also, they're both nuts. Maybe not.
Totally nuts. That was some scene, man. That was wild.
It was.
Hey, the chat's talking. While you were at the Flyers, the chat's talking. I guess I did see Elliot Friedman saying that Porter Martone's committed to Michigan State.
Yes, yeah. Porter Martone and Elliot Friedman reported, like, I don't know, maybe an hour before the show, that the Flyers' 6th overall pick was going to commit to Michigan State. I don't know exactly how this affects whether or not he can make the team this year. He could come to camp without a contract, play it out, and see if he's able to make the team. The problem being, camp is in, like, September, October, and that's when school starts. So I don't know if he's going to be able to take online classes, if everyone's just in agreement, this isn't your year. At the end of the season, we'll sign you. Because once he signs a contract, that's it. He can't go back. Players and
Right.
juniors, you can sign a contract and then go play in the OHL or whatever. But in the NCAA, once you sign your deal, that's it. You are now a professional. It's going to be very interesting to see how they handle this because it feels like Martone has an outside chance to make this team, and that would just be a ton of fun. Based on Charlie's report from development camp, he's going to have to be a lot better than he looked there. He didn't quite look ready at the development camp. There could be a ton of reasons for that. Like, it's a pretty
Mm-hmm.
crazy run from the OHL playoffs to draft preparations, the combine. He went to world championships. He was playing overseas. Like, there's a lot going on. Maybe he's just tired. Maybe he's not in the best shape because he's a little beaten up from the season. But I'm interested to see what this means about his chances to make the team. I feel like it's kind of a definite he goes 1 year to college now.
Do you think that because I mean people thought maybe he'd go to Penn State. Do you think the Flyers would want him to go to Michigan State to play with Van Sage?
That could be. I wonder, like, Penn State, if their NIL offer once they did bring in Gavin McKenna, and I think they like doubled what Michigan State offered just to make sure that they were able to get, the number one non-professional player to end up there. So maybe the NIL offer wasn't what he expected, but the Flyers could definitely have something to do with it, having some teammates there around him, having some ties to the organization. They can send their scouts one place instead of two to go see two of their higher touted guys.
Right.
They did really like having Oliver Bonk and Denver Barkey on the same team together in London. They think that creates just a little bit more synergy, a little bit more love for the organization, even if they're like not all the way in it yet. So that could be something, but it is cool to know he's going to be playing for a team that's a little easier to watch. It's much easier to watch NCAA games than it is CHL games here in the U.S. So if nothing else, maybe we get to see him in the Frozen Four or something.
There are people in the chat saying he can't go to camp, but you think he can still go to camp as long as he doesn't sign a contract?
I think he can go without a contract. It's just a question of, is Michigan State on board with that? Like, would he be able to take classes online? Would he be able to miss whatever sort of they would have planned for him, whether it's their camp or the first few weeks of classes or any other like arrangements that they have? It would probably just take a whole lot of conversations between the school, the league, the NCAA, the team. So maybe this is just kind of, he's going to be at rookie camp, and then we'll see him when his NCAA season ends at the end of the year. Maybe we sign him then.
Okay. Do you think the development, is it kind of similar, college development with OHL or the other league teams?
I think for someone in his position, college is better because he already had his crazy scoring year. Like, you're not okay, so he does it again against juniors players. There's 16-year-olds out there. Like, I don't know what you really learn. There's 24-year-olds out there when you're playing in college. Like, you're up against men, and this is just another opportunity to, like, get bigger, faster, stronger. You spend, your games are Friday, Saturday, or Saturday, Sunday, and then you're in the weight room all week. It's an opportunity to get bigger and stronger and be up against a higher level of competition, a stronger level of competition. So I think this is better for a player in his position to play in college. It's a bummer that I don't think he's going to make the team now, but college is a good route for him.
Is it because, is he just not ready, or do they have enough depth that they don't need him? It feels like, as a Zamboner, it feels like they have some depth where they have some needs offensively where they could use some help.
They definitely have depth on the wings. I think he could physically hold up. I just don't know if he's ready for the pace of the NHL. He does need to play a little bit faster. You can always get better. Like, at the age, he's 19, he'll be 19, I think, in September. You can always get better. It's not as if he's at the end of his runway developmentally. And they do have guys they want to get a look at. Like, Alex Bump is probably going to make this team. There are wingers who are longer in the system who could use a look just to see what they are and to push them down for Martone. Listen, Martone's going to end up being the best of who they have outside of Michkov, especially at wing, but there are other guys who they probably want a look at sooner just because they're further along in their development.
All right. Have you Michkov? He's been around some videos this weekend. People are going off about the size of his neck. Peel and Onions mentioned in the chat. I saw it on Twitter all weekend. They're saying his neck. Have you seen it? That his neck is like doubled in circumference.
Oh, that's why they started. I just thought they were calling him Mike. I thought his nickname was Mike because, like, Michkov, Mike, makes sense. These are hockey players. They're not the most creative people. But they call him Mike
Right.
because his neck looks like Mike Tyson. And that was last year. We know this guy has been hitting the weights. He's got a pretty crazy work ethic. Yeah, he's bulking up, man. I am looking forward to what they get out of Matvei Michkov this year. I didn't think his upper body needed a ton more work. I would like to see him get a little bit faster, just a touch, work on that, his explosiveness some, and work on his shot a little, because he's already such a prolific scorer, and he can place the puck wherever he wants. If he could just add a couple miles an hour to his shot, I think it would be freaking deadly. But he's putting in the work. I am so excited to see what Matvei Michkov brings us in his sophomore year when, at his exit interview, they asked him about his stats, and he just goes, they were all bad.
Yeah.
I could just be better. Like, everything was bad. And it's, well,
That's awesome.
you led all rookies in goal scoring, and he was like second or third in points. He was excellent, like an awesome rookie year, and he just goes, I could be so much better at everything. I am so excited to see what this guy brings.
And I just saw a video this week. I mean, I'd love to play it, but you have to read the subtitles because it's all in Russian. But he was talking right to me as a Zamboner who lost his way like maybe a decade ago. He's just so, he says he's not a dump and chase guy, which, just warms my heart. He wants to come into the zone with possession, make a pass, and he says, the dump and chase, you dump it. It takes so much energy to chase it and fight for it, and you don't even know if you're going to win it. And I'm thinking, oh my God, this guy is talking to me.
There's a lot of, man, John Tortorella turned this team into a rush-based offense, and Rick Tockett's teams tend to play a lot more dump and chase. There is a lot of worry that they are going to take away what makes Matvei Michkov special, but I gotta believe he is kind of above that. Like, you do your thing and everyone else is going to do what the coach says. Obviously, he can't just be freelancing out there 100% of the time. And you look at the teams that win a little bit, you have to establish a forecheck. This offense has kind of been one and done. Like, okay, we got our rush chance, and if we don't score, plays going the other way. They have to get better on the forecheck and establish more possession, but Matvei Michkov is going to get to do what Matvei Michkov does best. Like, there's no question he is still going to cherry pick a little bit. Like, you can't take that away from him. Look at how many goals he scored on the breakaway, and he scored on 2-on-1s, how many opportunities he set up. He's going to be a little bit above how the rest of the team gets treated, and I think it could be a really good mix. Because you do have to get in on the forecheck and physically impose your will on teams, wear them down for the third period. But if you have a nuclear weapon the way we think Matvei Michkov can be, you don't try to tame him. You just try to get the most you can out of him.
And do you think can he do so without any fear of a healthy scratch? Like, is Tocchet a healthy scratch kind of guy for sending a message?
Tocchet has had back and forths with some of his more talented guys like Elias Pettersson. I don't think he ever scratched him, and I think that thing is over. Like, John Tortorella is a unique guy, and Danny Briere, when they let him go, I think he put it as, he's a complicated man, a complicated coach. And that is the nicest way. When you're at odds with somebody, like, I just don't think that does any good for anybody at this point. Learning to deal with a hard ass like Tortorella, I think, is going to pay dividends for Michkov and everybody at some point. Even if it's just, we dealt with that guy. It's never going to be harder than that. but I just don't see how that benefits anybody at this point. Um, you can teach lessons other ways, and I don't
Yeah.
think that's in the cards anymore.
Do the better teams dump and chase? Is it still like a common thing? Are the Panthers a dump and chase team?
The Panthers very much a dump and chase team, probably more than a lot. Carolina plays that way. Listen, Tampa Bay isn't always the most like controlled entry team, as Charlie would say, but Nikita Kucherov still gets to do whatever the hell he wants out there. Like that's the trade-off is, yeah, man, a lot of our team is going to dump the puck in and then go get it and try to put a hit on the defenseman and try to get second and third opportunities. But if Nikita Kucherov wants to circle back through the neutral zone and then try an entry again and set up some stuff, he gets to, because he's a freaking superstar. And I gotta believe that's kind of how it's going to work with Michkov as well.
Cool. All right. Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah, I am a little worried about the change in style from Tortorella to Tocchet, but I think it's going to work out because, yes, man, Noah Cates, you're real good at this. Your line can dump and chase all day and try to wear down that defense. Sean Couturier, maybe that's a little bit more your game. That could be helpful for him. Establish possession in the offensive zone that way. But I'm not worried about how they're going to treat Michkov because they know how special he is.
We hope. Yeah, they have.
They can't possibly screw this up. It feels like there's just no way. All right, we are going to have Fran Duffy joining us in just a couple of minutes to talk some birds. I'm going to talk about that ring ceremony and all that. But first, VG, why don't you tell us about our friends at Parks Casino?
Cool summer vibes. Well, they await you at Parks Casino, my casino of choice, because they have it all. Action, entertainment, headline entertainment, great restaurants, all kinds of excitement. Plus, all summer long, swing by Bet Park Sportsbook every home game this baseball season. Enjoy the ultimate Philly fan experience. Here we go. $1 hot dogs, $3 Miller Lights, and wall-to-wall action and all their giant screens. Again, $1 hot dogs, $3 Miller Lights. Every home game's up at Parks. Plus, check this out. Concerts, comedy, and more at the state-of-the-art Excite Center. They bring you a collection of award-winning restaurants. You got Parks Grill Steakhouse, the fabulous Bamboo Noodle House, and the Liberty Bell Gastro Pub and Cool Beer Garden. They got the best cover bands in their 360 Lounge every weekend. This Friday, Your Candy's taking the stage, and Saturday night, you got the Dirty Dancing Rock Band. So what more could you want? Parks Casino. This is how you win. Pennsylvania's #1 casino. ParksCasino.com for tickets to all the shows, and you must be 21. Gambling problem? Please call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now it's time to tell you about Cherry Hill Mitsubishi, because this is kind of a fact I don't think I was ready for. Mitsubishi Motors is #1 in customer satisfaction with dealer services among mainstream brands and SUV owners. And that's just not me saying it because they told me to. It's in the script. It's JD Power. It's a fact that they are #1. So if you're looking for the most affordable 7-passenger SUV in America, Cherry Hill Mitsubishi and CherryHillMitsubishi.com has you covered with the 2025 Outlander. You got to take advantage of their 0% for 60 months APR financing for PA residents, or take home the 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage with payments starting at $55 a week with $0 down. You can combine that with the best warranty in the automotive business, 10 years, 100,000-mile powertrain, and 5 years, 60,000-mile bumper-to-bumper. Why settle for a lesser warranty and be on the hook for costly repairs down the road? It simply doesn't make sense. So stop in today, tell them PHLY sent you, and receive a $100 Restaurant.com gift card just for taking a test drive or completing a trade appraisal. I know people buy Mitsubishis elsewhere. I just don't know why. Drive home in your new Mitsubishi today, just minutes from all bridges, or available online 24/7 at CherryHillMitsubishi.com. Did you get a chance to... I know. Is the chat laughing that I can pronounce the word now?
No, I'm just like, man, they're really giving it to you the grind. How many times are they making you say it?
I feel like they only gave me the other ones, Jeep and
Yeah.
Kia, for so long, and now it's always
Right.
Mitsubishi. All right.
Yeah.
Did you
Yeah.
get a chance to check out the new Super Bowl rings that the Eagles were celebrating this
Yes.
weekend?
Pretty amazing. They're
How do
like
you like the push button
Transformers.
wings? Yeah.
Dude, that is awesome. I didn't even think that was possible. That is awesome. Yeah, dude. Just everything. Yeah, there it is. And like all the thought that goes in, like there's 37 stones for this and this. Like it's really well thought out. The two Lombardi trophies look great. I don't know. I'm not a big bling guy, but this is a really nice ring. The green looks great with it.
It does. The green looks really good, and it's funny to see like how much bigger this is than the first one. Like they really went all out in
Oh,
terms of the ring size. It's like double the size of the
yes.
last one. Yeah, there you
Yes,
go.
there it
Like
is. Nice
it's
work,
it's
Frazier.
it is
Yeah.
gigantic what they got going on with this ring. It's really impressive, and I was just it's it feels like okay, they got it out of the way. It's over with now, and now it's time to go back to work. But man, I still feel like celebrating. I don't want this I don't want the celebration to be over, but I guess that's opening night on Thursday against Dallas.
Dude.
We get to rub it in one more team's face before it's back to
Yeah,
work.
even the boxes they come in
The
rotates the
box was
ring around.
insane.
Like,
Yeah.
what the heck is going on? And you want to feel really good. I think if Andrew can get it, I slacked him a picture of the last Cowboys ring. And when you see it in comparison, it is so antiquated and it looks like it came out of like, I don't know. I think someone said it looked like it came out of a pharaoh's tomb from Egypt. It's so old looking. It's like like a late 80s, like high school class ring. But you
That's
feel really good about yourself when you see how long
it's
it's been for the Cowboys.
it's in black and
Oh, there's
white.
the
Oh yeah,
Cowboys.
there we go. Look at
Cowboys at the
those.
top right. The Commanders, the bottom left. Both of those look ancient.
They do. Like, yeah, those are it's very funny that it's like it doesn't feel as if the 90s were that long ago, but in fact,
Right.
we're talking 30 years for Dallas and what's that? Like almost 35 years for Washington. It's
Yes.
it's nice, man. It's nice. It's I was talking to after the Eagles won, though, Nick Costos had to try to oh well, you have as many as Eli does now, and the Giants have 5. So I just started telling him.
Yes.
No, I just started telling him like you're talking to me about LT as if he and Chuck Bednarik aren't the same thing. This was
Right.
100. Both were 100 years ago. Get over it, man. That was
Yeah,
pretty much.
totally.
The Eagles have the
It's just
last 2.
the white gold looks so much nicer than the older yellow gold that everyone used to use.
Oh, yeah, you have to go with that, the white gold. Like, I don't do you really wanna walk around in, like, that gold ring? Like, that's not something you can
No,
wear anymore.
yeah, it's funny how that went out of style pretty quick too.
No, it's just it was cool, and, the venue, which I told the story, they were at the 2300 Arena last time. I wondered where they would be this time. So it's like, "Oh, that's, like, kind of a funny play, like, the ECW Arena." It's a cool venue now, it's just, "Oh, that was weird."
Yeah.
This time they went with, what the hell was the place called? The Ballers at the Battery? It's like a pickleball court? Is that what goes on here?
What? I didn't even
It's
know where
like
it was. Is that up in Fishtown?
yeah, it is, and it's like it's I guess country club sports available in the city. They have squash and stuff, but it's the making use of the pickleball fad. I assume that has already faded. So they were it was available for rent for the Eagles, and they went with a pickleball venue this
Wow,
time around.
look pretty classy. Yeah, it looked
It
nice.
did. At first, I thought
Is
that
that
they'd
an
do it at the link. Like it looked like one of the rooms that they have like up there. But no,
mm.
it was at this place in Fishtown.
Was it outdoor on the pickleball courts?
It looked like it was inside. Maybe they tented it for this.
Yeah.
I couldn't really tell, but it didn't look like looking at pictures of the venue and then looking where they were. I couldn't figure it out. I assumed they had it tented for weather or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. Pickleball's not going anywhere. Right off South Street's having a pickleball tournament outside. I think like the third week of August. They're shutting down like
Are
Head House Square
people
for a giant pickleball tournament.
are people still playing pickleball? I feel like it's already
I
over.
think they,
Like
I think
like
they
all
are.
the
I don't
old
know.
heads
I've never.
all the old heads
Have
got
you ever
injured and
played?
now it's done. No, I have not. No.
Yeah, I've never held a pickleball racket. I've never really stood on a pickleball court. I don't know what it's like, but yeah, there's a tournament coming up, so I think it's here still.
All right. Well, all right. Good. I'm glad all these places that made this pickleball investment won't immediately be going under.
It was it
Ah,
was immediately made for older people with bad knees. That's why they made pickleball to help them
yes.
like with physical therapy.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I
they couldn't
feel
play
like
tennis anymore, right?
everyone still eventually ended up getting injured, and now pickleball's on its way out because they're all on the IR.
Apparently, there
All
was a
right.
Nick. There was also we got Franny, right? All right.
Oh, do we have? Okay, yeah. I just saw the text, and now joining us from the PHLY Eagles beat, talk a little birds. It's our friend Fran Duffy. What's going on today, Fran?
What's up,
Bill,
Franny?
BG, what's happening, guys?
Oh, just
How are you, man?
excited to be getting started here with a little football. It feels like it's both been forever and just yesterday we were celebrating the Super Bowl. Now we're getting ready to get back into it. I know for you guys, listen, it's like an 11 and a half month sport. You get a couple weeks off for like the NBA finals, and that's basically it in terms of the NFL. But are you feeling ready? Are you ready to get back into it for real?
You're never quite ready. You know, it's just one of those things where like the date's coming and you're like, all right, it's away, 1 week away, 3 days away. All right, tomorrow, and then it's finally here. So no, I'm excited. I'm excited for this new season to see what this new team looks like. Get some new film to watch. So I'm excited about that as well, both college and the NFL. So it's going to be exciting. It's interesting. Like I was talking about this with somebody the other day. The the off season has become like a boring aspect for the Eagles. And to me, like growing up, like and it's one of the reasons why I fell in love with the draft is that the off season is like the best. Like, how, because hope springs eternal. What is this team going to look like in the fall? What is it? What are the training camp battles? Who are the positions? Who are the players that can overtake positions here this summer? And there just hasn't been that much drama with this team over the last couple of years from that end of it, where it's almost become boring. And now it's just all right. Let me get to September. Let's get these games rolling.
No, that's something VG and I were talking about last week. Like, they've become boring, but in the best possible way. Like, once you
Right.
win, it's never like, oh well, we gotta go out and get TO. We gotta do the dumb crazy thing because 3 straight NFC title losses, that's unacceptable. Like, yeah, man, they just kind of win every game. It's this team very rarely loses over the last several years. It's they had that little stretch at the end of 2023, but you still look at the final record and go, yeah, that's an acceptable record. You look at this team, it doesn't feel like there's a ton of question marks. What is your biggest question going into camp? I believe they report tomorrow.
Yeah, they report tomorrow. First practice Wednesday. For me, the big questions are going to be mostly on defense. I mean, obviously, everyone wants to know who's going to be the right guard. Replacing Mekhi Becton. But to me, like they'll figure that out, right? That one, I'm not necessarily as worried. I think when you look over on the defensive side, obviously you lose Josh Sweat and Milton Williams up front. You lose Brandon Graham up front. Nakobe Dean coming off injury is not going to be on the field when we start training camp because of his injury. And then you look in the secondary and you have to replace Darius Slay and you have to replace CJ Gardner-Johnson. And to me, those position battles on the back seven are going to be where my eyes go first. To me, those are the most important questions that need to be answered, even though this is an organization that believes in building from front to back, with the defensive line in mind. With this Vic Fangio scheme, you could really make the argument that it's more important to be strong and sound from back to front. And so when I look at that secondary play last year, they were outstanding, and now they got to replace 2/5 of that secondary. And so Keely Ringo versus Adoree Jackson on the outside, and then at safety, you look at Sidney Brown versus Drew Makuba and the field. There are a handful of other guys that are going to be in the mix there as well. I think those two positions, that's where my eyes are going to be.
Do you think Ringo has the inside track right now?
I do. I think that they certainly would like him to be able to look. The time is right. Yeah, they spent a 3rd-round pick on him a couple of years ago. Basically, got to redshirt that first year. Got thrown into the fire a little bit in his rookie year towards the end as the season went into the gutter. But I think when you look at him now, all right, like this is a really young player. We joke on the show. We had a running tally where we were doing it for like 3 weeks straight, where we say Keely Ringo is actually 1 year younger than Quinyon Mitchell. He's a really young player still, a guy that has all the physical traits when you look at like the height, weight, speed aspect of the position. But as I always hammer home when it comes to the NFL draft, like as much as we want to say that cornerback is a traits position, is all about like height, weight, speed. To me, especially in today's NFL and in this scheme in particular, it's about mental processing and your instincts and your zone awareness and understanding route spacing and how teams are trying to attack you. You know, that Cooper DeJean interception in the Super Bowl is a great example of like the kind of heady play that you need to have in the back end in this Vic Fangio scheme. Keely Ringo doesn't need to be that, but he can't be a liability either. And so as long as he has put in all the work with, and there's been no signs that he hasn't, but as long as he has, I think he should be the starter by the time we get to opening day.
When you look at the some of the internal options to replace what they've lost, maybe it's Nakobe Dean coming back from the injury. What do you think in terms of the first round draft pick we can expect from Jihaad Campbell this first year?
Yeah, it sounds like the injury timeline is going to be similar to Cooper DeJean's last year, where we didn't really see him through training camp, and then he first got onto the practice field during that joint practice up in New England, which was after the close of official training camp, right? So right in between that area, right before final cuts. My guess is that that's probably what we're looking at here for Campbell. And we know Cooper DeJean didn't really see the field defensively until week 5.
Yeah.
And so now, is that going to be the case for Jihaad Campbell? And by that point, do you feel like, all right, like, Jeremiah Trotter Jr. has held this job down, or is it going to be another that is starting in there next to Zach Bond? We know Zach Bond's going to be in there as an all-pro. Who's starting next to him? My guess is they'd love to be able to get Campbell on the field. He's got to jump to make mentally too, though. This is a position at linebacker where the mental processing is a big part of it. He's only been playing linebacker for 2 years, and the first year was very much a work in progress. And so I think that there are strides he needs to make as well. It's not like Cooper DeJean where, all right, plug and play, this guy's going to be good to go. I think with Campbell, there's a little bit more projection required.
Do you think any other rookies could be pushing for considerable playing time? Like, we know this is one of the best rosters in football. We like the draft they just had, but how many spots are even available? Do you think there is room for some rookies to push the way they did last year to create such a young, dominant defense?
Yeah, certainly the big one that stands out is Drew Makuba, the second-round pick out of Texas. I think when you're looking, to me, like, I don't want to say front runner, but he would be the guy that I would expect. Like, if I had to, like, we talk about like putting turkeys on it. Like, if I had to make a bet on it, my guess is that Drew Makuba would be the starting safety opposite Reed Blankenship by the time we get to week 1 against Dallas. I think when you look at Makuba, his instincts, he was a 4-year starter. They show up, when you watch him on film. He was at Texas last year, was at Clemson the previous 3 seasons, and he's got the ability to make plays on the football. He's really aggressive downhill. His mentality is going to make him an immediate culture fit with this defense. We know how they just wanted to out physical everybody down the stretch last year. That's an element that both Campbell and Makuba both bring to this defense. And so to me, those are the 2 guys that I would expect to really kind of hear from as rookies. I think everybody else, it would be like a cherry on top if they offered anything. And honestly, it might even be like break glass in case of emergency type of situation, because a lot of these guys are going to be deeper down the depth chart by the time we get to the fall.
The third wide receiver this year. Tell me about OTAs. I read so much about Danny Gray shining in the OTAs. Who is he? Where did he come from? Does he have a chance of making the team and actually competing for that third wide receiver spot?
Yeah, I do think that he's got a good opportunity to compete for a roster spot. I think that the third receiver job is probably out of reach. I think that Jahan Dotson will probably take that job, and honestly, I would expect him to be even a little bit more productive than what he was last year. I mean, obviously, the numbers weren't necessarily there. In his defense, he gets to the team the week before the season, and also, like, he's 7th on the pecking order when it comes to where the ball is going to go. When you look at Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts as a ball carrier, you have the receivers, you got the tight end. Like, yeah, he's going to be further down the priority list there when it comes to targets in this offense. So I think when you look at it, my guess is Jahan Dotson is wide receiver 3. As far as the first part of your question, though, VG, I think when you look at Danny Gray, former 3rd-round pick by the San Francisco 49ers a couple of years ago out of SMU, and he was known as like your vertical deep deep threat. You think of like a Quez Watkins. He went a couple rounds before Quez Watkins went in the draft, but that was kind of his skill set. Was he's got that ability to take the top off. He can run by you. A pretty good vertical route runner. I was a little bit lower on him when he was coming out. I saw him as more of like a back end, deep roster type of player. And obviously the 49ers thought highly of him because they took him in the third round. I thought that was a little bit rich at the time, but as of this point, he has not been able to crack a 53. So I think when you're looking at it, he's a guy that got a lot of buzz where, there was an article that our Zach Berman put up on allphly.com last year where he talked with other vets and said, who on this practice squad is really starting to shine? And a lot of the vets pointed at Danny Gray. So that would be a player certainly as like a dark horse to be able to potentially make the 53.
All right, I'm looking for drama here in this training camp because, we got to
luck.
find it. So, well, tell me about Charlie Hewlett. I mean, they move on long snapper. This is an important piece of this special teams. Why did they make the move at long snapper away from Lovato? And what's this Hewlett guy?
Yeah, so I'm going to be honest. Like, why did they make the move off Rick Lovato? That's a little bit like above my pay grade in terms of like I'm not grinding the long snapper film and like doing the timing, the operation with the stopwatch.
Oh, what the hell, Fran?
Yeah, he's losing a little bit of juice off his fastball. I couldn't tell you that, but I will say, like, a lot of people, have a really strong belief that you want to try and maintain the continuity in your field goal operation as best as possible. So your snapper, your holder, and your kicker, and try and maintain that consistency just for the kicker's sake. Obviously, they make a change at long snapper there, so there will be an adjustment period for Jake Elliott and for the holder as well in those field goal situations. So I think when you're looking at it, why did they make it? I don't know if there was a fall off from Rick Lovato. It may have been salary, salary influenced as well, just a way to kind of save a little bit here and there, the pennies on the dollar. But so the Eagles have a new long snapper now. The last time they changed long snappers, it resulted in a Super Bowl. That was when they changed to Lovato from John Dorenbos in 2017. So we'll see if that can strike twice for them here in this one.
It's just crazy the length of time they have committed to basically 4 long snappers. Like, there's just been such a succession plan. Like, oh yeah, we went right from Bartram to Dorenbos to Lovato. Like, the idea of a new guy is weird, honestly. We'll see how it works out. But Jake Elliott did have a rough year until the playoffs last year. So we'll see how that all works out. You mentioned Zach Berman a couple minutes ago, Fran, and I hosted this show with him a couple Mondays ago, and we got into Saquon's workload. Do you expect it to be the same as last year? Do you think they have to back off just because that's the nature of the position? You can't touch the ball 1,000 times in 2 years. Like, you just know how that goes when it happens. We lived it with DeMarco Murray, like all that. Or do you think he could be the exception? He is that elite that, the normal rules don't apply.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that you're in danger of like a DeMarco Murray like falling off the cliff situation. I haven't seen anything to signify that could be in the cards for Saquon Barkley. I do think you got to worry about like just in terms of body breaking down and what that could mean from an injury standpoint. And so just trying to make sure that you're being judicious with monitoring his reps, making sure that you're not overworking him early on in the season. You want him to be fresh in the second half. You want him to be fresh and at his best once you reach January and February. So I think when you're looking at what the Eagles' approach will be with the run game this year, I think they're going to come out trying to throw the football here early on this fall. In an ideal scenario, the passing game is the catalyst for this offense. You hope that Jalen Hurts can hit the ground running with Kevin Patullo, who's the new offensive coordinator, but has been here over the last 3 years as the passing game coordinator. So there should be a little bit of continuity, a little bit more familiarity with those guys than what we saw last year with Kellen Moore. So I think the Eagles are kind of hoping, you know what? Jalen Hurts, you ride off what he did down the stretch where he was outstanding, certainly in the Super Bowl. It was one of the better games that he has played in the last couple of years. If you're able to kind of ride that momentum into this fall, the passing game can kind of carry the load there, and then you don't have to put as much on Saquon Barkley. Now, it is nice to know that you can lean back on Saquon and the run game, and I think once you get into November, December, you want to be able to do that. But my guess is early on, they're going to want Jalen Hurts to really be the focal point of this pass game and certainly of this offense.
Why would you and Zach both think they're going to come out throwing? Why? If you know what works and it works really well, why? Why risk it? And again, you have a new offense coordinator. I know he's from just a promotion from within, but you got the same offensive line pretty much with the guards in question. You got the same running back. You got the same run game coordinator. You just plowed through the NFL last year when you made a decision to commit the running ball. Why do you guys think they're going to? Why would they? I don't know. I'm so confused.
So there's a lot of data out there in terms of, and honestly, it's not even just like NFL. This is also like a fantasy football thing when, with all the analysts, and think about like how huge that industry is, right? There are a lot of numbers that look at running backs coming off of a heavy workload from the previous year and what they do the next year and how they never match what they did the previous year. And often, VG, the benchmark that they use for that is 200 touches. All right, so if a running back has at least 200 touches in 1 year, then it usually is a little bit of a downward slide next year. Saquon Barkley had over 400 touches last year. So we are like, not just like hitting the benchmark, we are far surpassing that benchmark that they look at. And so anytime you are talking about a guy that saw the ball that much, that often, then I think that it would be smart for them just to be a little bit careful. You don't want to make, you don't want it to, because that's the thing too. If early on, let's say it's in training camp, and even if it's something minor, if it's an ankle, if it's a hamstring, if it's a calf, that's something that lingers. And now you get into like November, December, and he's never been 100% all year. You look back at Jordan Love last year, where it was a minor thing in training camp that turned into a knee sprain that nearly cost him the season down in Brazil. Remember, he got hurt on that final drive against the Eagles, and he was just never right the rest of the year. And they became a very run-heavy team, and we never really saw peak Jordan Love. I think at the end of the day, you want to try and avoid a situation like that with Saquon Barkley.
I mean, he's obviously not going to repeat. He's going to have it down as far as carries or yardage, but it also wasn't like Jerome Bettis bashing. It felt like he wasn't even getting touched till he was 5 yards past the line of scrimmage. They seemed like it wasn't a brutal season of running the ball. I don't know.
That's what Zach brought up the point too. He was like, I wish that there was data out there for like how often a guy gets brought down to the ground. That would be pretty informative. And who knows? There might be teams out there that have that, but there's no public data that I'm aware of that has that out there. But yeah, it's just one of those things. I think the team is very aware that they want to make sure they can tread carefully with Saquon Barkley and his usage.
Yeah, 60-yard runs where you're basically untouched. How much does that really take out of you?
Yes.
If I was to run from here to my kitchen, I would drop dead. But for an elite athlete. All right. Fran, thank you so much for coming by today. Really appreciate you taking the time.
Bill, can I ask you one more? I was surprised. Yeah. I mean, obviously, they need some veteran edge help, I think. I thought Von Miller was on their radar. He signs with Washington. I was surprised for $6 million, not a lot of money. Were you surprised by that signing? And are there any other veterans you think towards the end of camp might come in?
Yeah, I think, Zach and I talked about that last week on the show, that there are a few positions where you want to keep an eye out. I think edge certainly is one of them. I don't know that they need to force the issue. I think that you can come in and say, all right, to the two vets that we bought in this spring, do they have anything? Can Azeez Ojulari and Josh Uche, can they help us out? You look at some of the other young players. Is Jalix Hunt ready for prime time? Like, if Jalix Hunt is ready to become that starter opposite Nolan Smith, and then, okay, Jalix Hunt's the starter. Now we don't need Uche or Ojulari to be the guy. Those guys could be role players. That's great. And now we're just looking for our fifth guy. All right, now you're golden. But let's say, I'm just we're throwing out scenarios here. Jalix Hunt not ready for prime time. We still probably would want him to be our third or fourth rusher. And then you've got Azeez Ojulari. The injuries have just taken their toll, and Uche is probably more of a role player. Well, now that's when you dive into you dive back into there, and that's when Jadeveon Clowney or one of these names that's out there, you can bring him in as kind of like that hired gun to come in and be that guy for you as a starter at outside linebacker.
Cool. Jadeveon Clowney, rumored to be an Eagle for God knows how long. It'd be funny if they finally brought him in now. All right, Fran, thank you for making the time today. Really appreciate you coming on. Fran Duffy from the PHLY Eagles beat. Take it easy, my friend.
See you guys. Appreciate it.
I love the idea that do you think if they are gonna supplement some of Saquon's carries, it's just with other running backs? Or do you really think they're going to go, we need to do more throw?
I don't want to see that. I mean, A.J. Dillon, if he's healthy, he's a big bruising guy. Give him 120 touches. I don't know. I don't want him to see you go away. It worked so well last year. And it's so awesome to see them just dominate guys physically at the line of scrimmage like that.
Offenses, like offensive coordinators, coach, they want to throw the ball. I think ultimately that's what it comes down to is like, if they had their way, they'd throw on every down. And it's almost like a defeat to run the offense the way they did last year, except they just put up 100 points in the NFC title and Super Bowl. Maybe, maybe that's a winning formula, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Do you want to get to some of these Philly commercials? Because I thought that was funny, VG. Or some of the old commercials. Yeah, we got a couple minutes here. What do you want to hit?
Yeah, we could do one or two old ones. There's one.
Let's hit VG's Nugs, brought to you by our friends at Golden Nugget Jewelers. Check them out, goldennuggetjewelry.com.
There was a couple Philly sports ones I wanted to get into. Mike Schmidt did one for Lee Jeans back in the day. And Lee Jeans, I guess I kind of wore them, but I don't know about denim back in the day. We're not very flexible. There's very little give. There was zero stretch in them like we have these days, which is a great invention.
I always think of Kramer in that episode of Seinfeld where he's got Frankenstein legs.
Yes, they were like Rustler jeans. Felt like that when I worked at Kmart. We sold Rustler jeans, and they were like those Kramer jeans. But yeah, now I give. So Mike Schmidt does Lee jeans, and he looks pretty active in them. If Andrew's got it.
I'm looking for jeans that stay blue.
Try Dress Blues by Lee.
You bet I will. Fit like a glove.
Mike, all you have to do is look for the patch.
Lee Jeans, the brand that fits.
There's no way you could slide and play baseball in denim back in those days.
I'll tell you, it is more convincing though than what did Brett Favre do? Wrangler? Was that it?
Yes, he was a Wrangler guy. Yes.
I think Mike Schmidt was more convincing than Brett Favre though.
Oh yeah, I mean, fielding ground balls, he looked good at it, but they had to be like some special prototype with some kind of a stretch in them. There's no way you could do that back in the day.
It's some real magical editing there.
Yeah. Bobby Clark. I mean, Mr. Personality. Who wouldn't put Bobby Clark in a commercial back in the day? This is for a store. He's got a store called Woolco, which I don't even really remember them. I don't know if they were gone by the time I got older in the area, but it had to be a local commercial. This could not have been a national commercial, I don't think. If the chat knows what Woolco was, holler.
Why is Bobby Clark working at Woolco?
That's not Bobby Clark.
Yes, it is Bobby Clark, and he's here to tell everyone Woolco has Bobby Clark hockey equipment.
Right Guard makes super hockey equipment for me, and Woolco stocks sticks, balls, pucks, and even fold-away hockey at great prices. I hope everyone will come to Woolco and see my Bobby Clark hockey equipment. And remember, Woolco wants to be your favorite store.
Anytime they put hockey players in commercials, it's like just the black hole of personality. I always think of the Mike Richards BMW commercials. It's like not only that, but you can get it's like Roger, but you can get 0% financing on a BMW. Like that is a hockey player in every commercial ever.
Yeah, I got one from Lindros too for Models.
Perfect.
Yeah, he's Mr. Personality in this as well. Yes.
There we go. Okay.
Well,
this is
Models
Lindros.
is more than hockey.
I do ice, not AstroTurf.
Models is more than hockey.
Models is more than hockey.
He's got good soccer skills.
He's not bad.
Come on, Eric. It's time for practice.
But what about hockey?
Mo's is more than hockey. Take one.
Well,
he held his own. He held his own in that one.
That's his coach, right? What was that guy's name? Terry something? Was that
Terry Murray? Yeah, the cardboard
Terry Murray,
cutout.
yeah.
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 That's the most personality he's ever displayed.
Right?
I love local commercials like that. They're the absolute best. Like we still get that NJP commercial, the Not Just Pizza during national games. That they have the ESPN spot. That always cracks me up. It's like a banana and a gorilla just dancing for some reason. I love them.
Yeah, I want to finish up with one more for Jimmy Rollins. But I think we're hitting overtime.
Yeah, we're heading to overtime. Check out allphly.com if you're part of the TV audience. You want to hit this J-Roll commercial?
Yeah. This one's probably my favorite Philly athlete commercial.
These feel good.
You think baseball's about feeling good?
Jimmy Rollins.
You think I became MVP and led my Phillies to the World Series because I felt good? Yeah, we know the Air Swingman remix feels good, but it's made for performance. Performance can hurt.
Yeah, the Air Swingman remix cleat. Better athlete.
Like we follow up hockey players with Jimmy Rollins. It's almost unfair. Like one of the most charismatic guys we've ever had. But that's good. I like how they have to say "do not attempt."
Yeah.
You know what? Do attempt.
Yeah. Hey, who's in the pitch meeting? I got an idea. We'll just have a pitching machine hit Jimmy Rollins in the chest with fastballs. Tell me baseball's not more than comfort.
Yes. Just they're comfortable, but don't you think about being comfortable. Actually, wear really uncomfortable cleats. That's what you need to do. Nothing better than a bad local commercial. But that is basically all the time we have for you on the PHLY Anthony Gargano Show, brought to you by our friends at Bet Parks and Parks Online Casino. Make sure you check out that app and check out the Excite Center as well. That'll do it for me. VG, I feel like you're my brother now. I've spent more time talking to you than I have like my wife for the past 2 weeks. But that's pretty much it for me. I hope everyone has enjoyed my time filling in on the Anthony Gargano Show. As far as I know, the Cuz will be back tomorrow. So enjoy that when he returns. Until then, that's all the time we have for you today. My name is Bill Matz. That's VG. Thank you so much to Andrew for his awesome work producing.
Andrew.
Yeah, always excellent. That'll do it. Be excellent to each other.
We all silly like the mayor.